Welcome to Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I'm Adam.
And I'm Josie.
Um, so how have you been?
Oh, great. We got a shit ton of snow out here.
We got like 6 inches.
So we got like a whole foot and
Nice.
then like 2 days later or a day later, another whole like foot and a half.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. So it's very funny because so Sid, my larger dog, he's pretty tall. Like he's probably over 3 feet, like tall, just standing.
So he's taller than you
Um,
then.
like he comes up to my hips
Okay.
about. So he's a tall boy. And so maybe 3 feet's a little too much. But he he has to like leap and bound and the snow just engulfs him. It's really cute.
Yeah,
It's really
Max.
cute because since he's blind too.
Yeah, Max had a mishap when he was a puppy. So now if it snows,
Yeah.
he won't go outside.
Oh,
So we gotta shovel out the patio
did he
because
get
so he can go
lost
to
in the
bed.
snow?
He's very small, so like he like bounded, and then he couldn't get out anymore. So he just laid there and
Oh,
howled until someone went out and got him.
that's adorable.
So now he won't go out in deep snow anymore. So he just kind of hangs out on the patio
Yeah, my
after we
little
shovel it out.
one doesn't either. She we have to uh snowplow an area in the yard
Yeah,
so that way she'll go out.
yeah, because he can't go to the bathroom in the house, so he has to go somewhere. Um,
Yep.
yeah, we only got what's it called? We only got about. I mean, I think saying 6 inches is even a lot. I think we got like 4 inches of snow, and then it rained the rest of the day, so
But
it all went away.
this was all snow that happened that was already like we'd already had a buildup
Right. We haven't gotten. It's
of
been very, very mild this year.
so
Uh,
around my house, so we probably have over 3 feet of snow.
wow.
Yes, it's pretty crazy. And then not to mention like all the piles of snow that have like from the accumulation of like from snow plowing it out of our driveway and like off the road and
Yeah.
then the stuff that falls off the roof and yep,
Does it
it's
get to
pretty
the
crazy.
point ever up there where it's like you see in those pictures where it's like you just got walls of snow like over your head because like they
Yeah,
plowed it up so high?
that's what it felt like today when I was leaving for work was like, oh gosh, they really piled it high on the side of the road.
With the ooh gosh, look at all the snow. It sounds like you're from like Fargo. Like, you know that movie Fargo?
No.
You never seen Fargo? All right. Well, you know who would like
Oh,
that joke? Peter would like that joke.
I'm sure you would.
He'd be applauding like, well done.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure
uh,
that he would be.
we've been moving my grandmother in, so we've been rearranging shit in the house. So I had to go to Home Depot. Um, let me tell you, there is no place on the planet I feel less like a man than going into Home Depot.
Why? Isn't that supposed to be a place that you feel your manliest?
Yeah, but like I walk around there, I'm like, I don't know what half this shit does. Like, I couldn't
Mm,
do it. There's this one
time to
guy
go
who
learn.
it's like I went back, we getting these shelving units for the garage, and I go back and you got to go through like the area where it's like they have the guy there who will like set up the remodel for your kitchen. And the guy there, do you remember Home Depot back in like the 90s had like the short, like stocky guy with like the massive nose and the hard hat as their mascot?
No.
Like, you don't remember the old Home Depot mascot? Let me see if I can find it real quick. But like this guy looked exactly like it. Home Depot mascot. It's like this little old guy. Yeah, here it is. Homer Depot was his name.
That's
Um,
funny.
yeah, let me screen share with you so you can see what I'm talking about here. And for those of you at home, just do a quick Google search and you'll see what I'm talking about. This guy here, this guy right here. Yeah,
Oh, the
that
little
is
cartoon guy.
yeah, that's exactly
Okay.
what this guy looks like.
Well,
And I'm
that's
like,
rude.
that's cool. So he's getting the spirit of working there. And you always see the most fucked up shirts in Home Depot, I've noticed too. Um, like you see the usual, like you get a lot of like, and I'm making a broad generalization here, and I'm sure that you don't have this problem up in up in New England, but you get a lot of MAGA shirts and like MAGA adjacent shirts and like really weird thin blue line shirts up
That's not a
there.
thing that we see inside the. That's
Home
not what
Depot.
we. I don't really see those at Home Depot,
Oh, we get that a lot down here. Um,
but
I
I
think
do
it's
prefer Home Depot over Lowe's.
oh, I'm the exact opposite. I prefer Lowe's to Home Depot. Like if I go into Lowe's,
I
it's
heard
like
that Home Depot is more LGBTQ friendly.
I don't think that that's true. The owner of Home Depot was like people don't want to work. Like the guy who owns Home Depot is very, very far to the right.
Oh, really?
I mean, and look, 9 times out of 10, there are very few places that.
I get my news and my information from unreliable sources, so
Okay.
you could be right.
It's like the only thing that I like, the only thing that like I won't shop at Hobby Lobby. Like I won't eat at Chick-fil-A, but like beyond that, I don't let it influence me too much. And this was
Hmm.
my dad gave me his card and like go get this for me. So I was like, all right, whatever. Um, and it was a Home Depot store card. But like here are two of the shirts I saw, and I like you if you see someone wearing a shirt with a Roman like a Holy Roman Empire Crusader that says "Proud Warrior of Christ," you're a white supremacist if you're wearing that shirt. I'm sorry. It's like I like that symbol has been co-opted. Like you can have the nicest intentions on the planet with that shirt, but that's been co-opted. You're definitely a white supremacist or you're intentionally ignorant. The other one I saw that I thought was pretty funny, but I was like, this is a little fucked up, was like you know how you've seen like the Punisher logo with like the thin blue line through it and like bonus points if it's got the little Trump
Hmm.
swatch of hair on top. This one was a guy, he had a thin blue
Sure.
line flag with like a bullet underneath, like a bullet running the line to the flag, and it said, "Just the tip, I promise."
Oh,
And I'm like,
that's kind of
cool.
funny.
Yeah, no, it's amusing, but like the only thing that I find more amusing when you see someone who's got the thin blue line flag with the "Don't tread on me" kind of
Hmm.
like thing, because it's like those are diametrically opposing viewpoints. If you're going to be incredibly pro police and also don't tread on me, those two things don't quite line up. Because do you
Yeah.
want to be tread on or not? Because who do you think's doing the treading? Um, anyway, that's our lefty corner for this week. Um, so what was the other thing? I had another thing that I wanted to talk about, but like, yeah, Home Depot is somewhere I don't like to go to. Not specifically because of the people who are there, but it's just like I walk through there and I'm like, people look like they're walking through there with intent, and I'm like, I'm just here to get a light bulb or some shit. Like, I'm here to get like,
Why are you going to a Home Depot to get a freaking light bulb?
because it's closer than going to Walmart, and like the amount of money you save by driving that, like, it Home Depot is technically walking distance from my house.
Hmm.
And it's like the amount of money it's in gas to get to Walmart and back is more than the like 50 cents extra you pay for the light bulb at Home Depot.
Oh.
So it's like it's one of those things where it's like and it's just ease of access. So yeah, I guess but like you walk in there and it's just like I don't know what the fuck any of this shit does. I don't I don't care either. Um so have you been keeping up with the Star Wars comics at all?
No.
Have you ever read any of the Star Wars comics?
Not really.
Not even Vader Down, that cool one.
Nope.
Um, I've read a few.
Nope. Where do you read them?
Um, Either if it's a new one, I'll read it on the Marvel app because it's this beautiful thing where you're not spending real money because you're doing it on the app and it's just like the money just comes out of your account. So it's not like spending real money. So I will spend an inordinate amount of money
Oh.
just buying comics and reading them on the app.
Oh, so this is why you have no money.
No, not really. It's definitely no. I think that if we're gonna say there's a reason I have no money, it's like today I went to Best Buy and bought the Steelbook for Black Panther because I was like, oh, that because it looked really fucking sick. It's got Namor on the cover and it's pretty awesome. Um,
Oh.
so yeah, that's why I have no money. I think the like the $2 once a month that I'm spending on, I'm over exaggerating for comedic effect. Um, but yeah, it's just easier to just buy them on the app and then read them on the app than it is to go to the comic book store, get judged by the guy who's selling you the comics. And it's like,
Mhm.
motherfucker, I don't want to deal with this bullshit. And it's like, and the thing is too, it's like you have to pay cash
Why would
unless
the comic book store guy be judging you?
literally the guy at there are two comic book stores that I go to. I go to Newberry Comics now more than the other one because Newberry Comics is, the people there are nice. But the guy who runs the comic book store near my house is, I think I've told this story before on the show where I go in, I was like in high school. So we're going back about 10 years now. And when I was in high school, I was, you know what, I'll say it, I was a bit of a weeb, you know,
What's a weeb?
and, anime fan.
Oh, okay.
Like
Well,
I
there's
and on top of that, I was very into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like there's a game club and that's what I would do. And the cool thing was there's a comics magazine shown in Jump that they would give Yu-Gi-Oh cards in there. Um,
really
and so I went in, the supermarket stopped selling it. So I went into the comic book store thinking comic. It's a comic, but it's a Japanese comic, but it's a comic nonetheless. And I was like, all right, this guy might have it. So I go in, go up to the counter. I'm like, hi, do you have Shonen Jump? And he goes to me, why would we carry that? And I'm like, you're standing in front of a 6 foot statue of Superman. Why wouldn't you carry that? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. I think it's a valid question if you look at this and you look at the situation of what's around you. You're like, all right, I could see this being a place where you would sell that. Um, like if I went into like, I don't know, like a salon and was like, "Hi, do you have this magazine?" They're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, no, like it. I had a similar experience this week at Best Buy too, at GameStop too, but this like ever since then I won't go in there. So, but I gave him a second chance like a year ago. I went in there while I was waiting for pizza in the shopping center, and they had the Batman Superman annual and the Midnighter annual. This was 2021, and I picked them both up, went up to the counter, and it was like nine
I still
ninety
don't
eight.
understand why they're judging. Are they judging your choice of comic?
The guy's just an ass, I think, is more than anything else. Like he's just a prick. Because like I get over to I get up to the counter and I have two comics and it's 9.98 and it's like minimum $10. And it's like the
I'm
other
sorry,
place
does
I
he
go,
think he's too cool for the comic shop? Like,
he does. He
that's
definitely
confusing.
100% does. A hundred
Oh,
percent he does.
he thinks
And
he's
it's
too
like
cool for it.
this is
Okay.
this is your store. You picked this career. It's like you're not too cool for this. Shut the fuck like and he's looking at it, and you can see that he's like looking at it, looking at you, looking at the comic, and I'm like, all right, just I'm buying a fucking Superman annual. Like, calm down.
But I feel like you wouldn't be the person to be getting like judged in those kinds of places. You look like a nerd. So like
Thank
you
you.
fit in.
I'm wearing a Foo
But
Fighters
like,
shirt today, but ordinarily, yes,
yes.
you'd be very right. Like
Yes.
yesterday, I was wearing a PlayStation shirt. Like, no, like
Right.
I
But
look the
like,
type.
yeah, because
I,
I
I
mean,
I feel like if you went into this
you
comic book
know,
store, you would definitely have a problem.
that's what I'm saying is like I kind of understand when I end up having a problem with people at those places because they think they're so much smarter than me and they know this
Yeah,
thing way more than I could ever. And I'm sorry that I can't tell you Superman's birthday, but I'm
and
still
and
interested in this item over here.
and let me be
you
honest,
know,
I don't think I've met a bigger dork in my planet, on the planet than Josie in my
me?
life. Yeah.
Oh, Peter's worse. Peter's worse. Um, also, you've met yourself. Anyway,
You want to turn a light on?
I
Your
forgot what we were
background's
talking
very
about.
slowly becoming the Bat Cave. But like
Is it? Well, that's because the sun's going down.
yes, that's why I said you want to turn a light on, so that way you're not sitting there staring into a screen. That's not good for your vision. Um, but yeah. So I don't know. Like I was just feeling dead air while she's not here because she is away from her earbuds, and that's why
You should probably cut that one.
I'm kidding. No, I said I'm just feeling dead air. This is gonna be funny when she comes back. I'm gonna come back with that.
I think you should, because what if people decide to just cut out that
Yeah,
piece?
yeah, you're probably right. I'll just beep it out.
You should probably cut that.
I'll just beep it because I think the beep is funnier.
And
Um,
you
but
should say, and that's beep, and
yeah,
that's it.
that's a good
Like
idea.
nobody, they can fill in their
That
own
was like
blanks.
when we did the year in review. I texted you earlier in the day, like, can we say where you are because you were doing something, and then we were started recording, and I said it, and then you texted me back as we were recording after I already said it and said no, don't say it. So what I did was I said there was like Josie is doing. I said whatever you were doing, but then when I did it in post, I edited it so it just and Josie is beep like that. So it's like
It could be anything.
exactly.
Yeah, nobody's
So,
business.
so
Nobody's business. I'm not friendly enough. You can't tell people what I do and where I am.
true. So no, but like in GameStop this week, I had a similar experience where I went in and it's like you know how the Nintendo Switch just put out that new expansion. Well, they put the expansion out a while ago, but now they added Game Boy Advance games to it.
I'm gonna divert your attention to something else.
Okay, go ahead. Try me.
You're drinking a Mountain Dew, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you hear that Mountain Dew came out with the Baja Blast hard seltzers or hard sodas?
I did not, but it doesn't surprise me.
I wonder if they're selling them in New York and then you can try it and tell me how it is because they're not selling it here.
Are they really not selling it there?
Yeah, they're only selling it in like 6 or 7 states.
I don't think they're selling it here because I haven't been able to find Blackout, and they brought back Blackout,
Mm.
and I've wanted that. I like the Blackout.
They might. I know that it in they're selling it specifically in Las Vegas, not necessarily all of Nevada, but
Oh, probably
I know
not
that
here
they're
then.
selling it specifically in Las Vegas because I looked up the locations and I was like, guess I'm planning a trip to Vegas.
Because like New York is weird with the
And
with the liquor laws, and I don't think Pepsi has any hard liquor here or any hard drinks here under New York's definition of it. It's a very weird situation the way
oh,
New York handles liquor and liquor distribution. Like Pepsi can't deliver liquor. You need to have a separate company that delivers your liquor. So we have like Manhattan, we have Claire Rose, we have I forgot the third one, but it's like three different companies have to deliver. And it's like we're just adding a step here because it's not even like Bud Light can distribute themselves. Bud Light has to give it to a distributor, and the distributor has to give it, which is a weird situation. So I don't
you
know
are
how that would
right.
work.
It is not available in New York.
Right. That's just years
So
of
it's
working at
available in
Walgreens working in my favor.
yeah. It's
Um,
Florida, Tennessee, Iowa, Oklahoma, Arizona, Missouri, Minnesota, Virginia, Las Vegas.
so anywhere you can't
Not
get an abortion, you can get Baja Blast
and then
hard seltzer.
Ohio, and Illinois.
That was a barn burner of a joke, and you just plowed right through it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, when I went to so you know how they have that new expansion for for Switch Online,
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah, for the Game
Game Boy
Boy games.
and N64 and Sega
Right.
Genesis. So I went to at Target, they sell a card that you can buy, and it adds that to your thing. And I was like,
Oh,
all right, let me
really?
do that. Yeah, so I was like, let me do that. But I was on my way home from work when I had the idea. I was like, let me just stop at GameStop because if Target sells it, GameStop sells it.
Do you get judged in GameStop too?
No, but I walk into GameStop and I'm like, hey, so I'm looking for that card. And the thing is too, if I start getting a look, I have an excuse on backup with like, oh, I have a little brother who uses my Switch too, and I don't want him to have my credit card on there because he'll buy like I get immediately defensive.
Stop providing explanations. Just ask for the shit and move on.
I didn't provide it. I just have the backstory on
It's more
standby
awkward when you
in case
provide
I
an
get the look.
explanation because nobody, I promise you, they don't care and they're not judging
So I
you.
ask, so I get that, I get to the counter. I'm like, "Do you have this card?" Because I look at the rack and they don't have it. So I ask him, like, "Do you have this card?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Okay, so you know how there's Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus?" And he's like, "Yeah, Nintendo has that too for the Switch, called Switch Online. There's an expansion on top of the Switch Online. There's a card for that will give you access to these other games." And he's like, "Okay, I can print that out for you."
This sounds made up.
It's not. It definitely is a thing. Because I almost bought it once, and then I was like, "Nah, let me wait for more games to hit the service and then get it." Um,
Mm.
so I go. So he looked up. He's like, "Oh, I can give you the Switch Online card," and I'm like, "I have that already. I don't need that. I need the card for the expansion." He's like, "I've never heard of what you're talking about,"
Is
and I'm
that how
like,
you say it too?
"No, no, no. I'm more polite. I because the thing is, I worked retail for a while, and I know not to be a complete dickhead to the guy behind the counter
Mhm.
because that's gonna get you
That's good.
nowhere. Because I know
Hmm.
for a fact when someone was a dickhead to me, I went out of my way to make their life miserable.
Yeah. I'm glad you don't talk to them like that.
No, but it's like when I'm telling the story, and at this point you would know you could think you would know this, but when I tell the story, I embellish a little bit. So I go like, so I'm like,
To
listen,
make you sound
fuckhead.
cooler, right?
Yeah, exactly. omitting the
But I
fact
just
that
need to
I'm
like
there to
set the
buy
record straight that like no.
that I'm there to buy a Nintendo Switch e-card, and then
Mhm.
so he's like, I've never heard of what you're talking about, and I'm like, you work in GameStop. How have you not heard of this thing? Like, even if you said the card, they don't have the card, which is a viable thing. Maybe they only sell it at Target. Even if you said that, like, that's something. But like, how have you not heard of the expand? Anyway, whatever.
Well, not everybody who works there is doing it because they're a super mega nerd.
No, but I can honestly say I think we've talked about this before off air, but like I've never gone into GameStop and had a positive experience. It's always been at best neutral, to
Hmm.
negative. Like it's you never walk into GameStop and find someone personable behind the counter. It's always some asshole who's like, they couldn't get a
I
job
do
working in
not have
actual
this same
retail.
experience.
You're just making it seem like it's my personality now that brings this out in people.
um, I don't have this experience. I usually find very personable, very kind, nice people behind the counter at GameStop who are very helpful.
Well, I think also part of it might be, and this may be sexist, but they walk in and they see you, and it's like, oh, there's a girl. Maybe she'll fuck me if I'm nice to them.
Half the time they're girls on the other side.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't have girls working at GameStop here.
Oh, just the GameStops you go to.
I've been to 5 or 6
Why you
different
say that like
GameStops.
you're part like it's some elite GameStop now that there's a man behind the
Yeah,
counter.
exactly. No, no, no. We have real people working behind the
Okay.
counter here. No, no, no. But it's like I've been to like four or
That's what
five
you
games.
said. That's
Yeah,
literally what you said.
I've been to like 4 or 5
Hmm.
GameStops around. I'm not coming off great in this episode. We have like 4 or 5 GameStops in my immediate vicinity that are all about the same distance, and none of them have women working. One of them does, but most of them don't have women working
So
behind
you
the
troll
counter.
them to find out?
No, it's just whichever one
Do you
is
troll them to
closest.
find out?
No, whichever one I'm closest to in what I need to do, and I'm like, oh right, I need to go to GameStop too and get whatever this is. Then I'll go into that.
How
Like,
often do you go to GameStop?
fairly often, more often than I probably should, because they have a lot of cool collectibles in there.
Yeah.
Like, did you see that new series of like
Oh
VHS
my
things for
goodness.
Disney where it's like it?
So I can't I did used to live by a GameStop for a while I was out in Colorado, and I
Mhm.
went to that one like all the time and would
See,
talk to the
exactly.
people, and they'd be like, "Yeah, we got some new stuff in the clearance section," because they knew that that's what I was there for, and that's it.
See, like,
And then
like,
I'd just clear out their clearance section because I'd find some cool stuff.
see, I go into them a lot, hoping that there should be a sign like we're closing soon. Because I went into there was a GameStop by me that went under, and it was like closing permanently. So they had a clearance sale, 50 to 70% off
Mm,
everything in the store. And I went in
that's
there
what,
and
yeah.
walked out like I was a fucking like robber. Like
I
I
did that.
had
Yes.
so
I
many games that I still
specifically
have not played.
specifically what I look for are um like classic games, board games mostly,
Oh, okay.
classic games that are in different themes. So
Hmm.
like I have a Rick and Morty Clue,
Oh, okay, that's
and
cool.
I have Star Wars Monopoly, and I'm always looking for a chess set that's like of a different thing,
Right.
but they've never been like a good enough deal.
I got at Toys R Us when they were going under. I got Disney Monopoly and Pokemon Gold and
Ooh,
Silver Monopoly.
that's pretty cool. I don't think
Um,
I'd pick those ones. But
well,
anything
you're
Lord
not
of
a
the
Pokemon fan the way I
Rings
am.
I get. No, definitely
Lord,
not.
I
Not the
think
way you
Lord
are.
of,
And
I think Lord of
I
the
do like
Rings,
Pokemon.
right. I think Lord of the Rings would be a cool chess set. I could see that being a really cool chess set.
I do too. I do
Like,
too.
they're gonna be expensive though. Do you have up there like
Yeah,
board game stores? Because we have one of those. It's like in New
not
York,
really.
all over the state, there are like these little like bay towns kind of
Hmm.
where it's like these like strips by bodies of water that are just really like kitschy.
Hmm.
Like Lake George has it, but we have one
We
down here.
so we probably do up by the over by the coast, not up, but
Oh, okay.
over by the coast.
Because like we
Um,
have a board game store by there, and it's like you go in there, and it's like
but
this is awesome.
they up the price because
Yes,
now you're in Portsmouth. Like you're in a port town. Like it's gonna be more expensive. So
right. Even though it's mostly not that much nicer than if you were by your own place. Like that's what it is. It's like I'm not far from Port Jefferson, which may people may know it for the apparently world famous Charles Dickens Festival, which is
Oh,
just
that's cool.
it's just a giant cosplay convention for nerds who are really into Victorian England. Um,
We have a poutine festival.
a what?
Poutine festival.
Can you explain?
Poutine.
What's that?
Ah, all right. It's French fries covered in gravy. Stop. Hold up. Covered in gravy and cheese curds. And it's
Okay,
a very Canadian thing.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
It's great.
we
It's
don't
good
have
stuff.
that. We have a garlic festival.
That's cool.
We have a large number of Italians who live in this area,
Mm,
so we get the
Italian
garlic.
mobsters.
Well,
So you
you
must have
know,
to be like really careful out on the street and tell people
no,
when you're walking.
not if you're also Italian. You're good then. Um, but yeah, so yeah, they have these cool things now at GameStop that look like little VHS, cassette tape cases,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got a little figure in it. It's a mystery box. Those are cool. And
That's pretty cool.
this will be the last thing before we get into the topic at hand for today. But have you seen
That's
by
a good
any
idea.
chance this? It's a new toy that it's like. Do you remember when we were kids? They had like the play cash registers and stuff like that. That like every once in a while you'd find a set and it came with like things with like actual licensed food looking items. Where like you'll get a box and it's like an actual Oreo like cover on it. Like it's
No.
got the actual Oreo logo on it.
In what?
Okay, so you know how they had those toy like tape like shopping carts and like cash registers and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's like every once
Yes.
in a while there'd be a set where it's like, oh, they actually got Nabisco to give them the licensing to put the actual logos on the stuff. So it's like looks like actual food from the grocery store. Um my
Oh,
sister had that when we were really little, but like this new thing is it's got to be the most ridiculous, like capitalistic toy on the planet because what it is it's these mystery boxes that you buy, and inside the mystery box is a mini version of a real toy that you can't actually play with, but you can put inside of
I've seen
a
that.
yeah. What's the appeal of that? Because I can't think being a kid and being like,
People
this is
are like
awesome.
really into miniatures right now. I think it's for adults.
Is it really?
Like people are really into yeah, it's for like adults and TikTok and stuff. It's like
That's so
people are
fucking
really
weird.
into miniatures right now. It
All
is
right,
weird.
so I shouldn't feel bad for buying five of them then, is what you're saying.
No,
Okay, well
I'm not,
I didn't buy five of
not
them, but
saying that.
I was trying to set you up for the joke. No, 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 you should still feel bad about that, but
Yes.
yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, who is this
That
for?
is the joke I just made. Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
because it's the thing. It's like I saw it and I'm like, who is this for? I don't understand the person that this is for. Like I understand Squishmallows, I
It's for
understand
grown adults.
like the
Oh, I have a Squishmallow.
my sister's got
But
a
it's
fucking
not the real
collection of them.
brand thing of it. But it's
Oh, it's like the
I
Squashmallow.
don't think I don't think mine is like a knockoff brand of it, but it's still very nice. It's an avocado.
Oh, okay.
I keep it at work. I like it.
My sister got a ton of them.
When I do um like Zoom, not Zoom meetings. When I do Teams meetings, I will squish it and hug it and dig my nails into it while I'm furious
I was gonna say when
and
I do
muted.
Zoom meetings, I'll put it in the screen and then walk away and just have it be
No,
on the
no,
meeting.
no, no. It helps me through my anger at work. I get very intense anger.
But like that thing is pretty cool. Like it seems like
Yeah.
a cheaper version of like it looks. I've come around on it now that you said it's for adults. I'm like, all right, I can get behind that now. But like, I don't understand like what kid would get that
You think
because
it's
it's
more appealing that it's for adults? No, that's so silly. Oh my
really
goodness.
because it's like at
No,
least if
you're
it's for
wrong.
adults, I can
You're wrong.
understand like the thought process
Nope,
behind the miniature thing. Because like you
that's
go to the
weird.
fucking hobby store that I go to, like I go to a hobby store every once in a while by me, and they got like fuck tons of like Dungeons and Dragons miniatures and shit like that. Like I can understand that thought process, like that like for an adult that's something that they'd be
But like,
into.
who is such a fan of the grocery store that they need need miniature things of food. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
but in
I
fairness,
mean,
it's
I like
not just
grocery
the
shopping
grocery
as
store.
well, but like,
It's not just the grocery store. They also have Disney store
I
version
know
of
it's
it.
all, who's this much of a fan of just like life that they want small life products? But oh my goodness.
It's like, oh, I got the VO5 shampoo
They
to
need
complete the
they
set now. Um,
Yes. It's weird.
yeah, I saw one that's like Disney store. I'm like, all right, that I can kind of see because like Disney adults and like all that kind of stuff. And it's like I can see them kind of capitalizing on it, but like the supermarket version of it, I just can't get behind because I'm like, who the fuck cares this much about like Chiquita Banana that they're like, let me just like go out of my way to try and find that and buy like 30 of these things to try and find that. And they're so
Yep, I
small
agree.
too. And the mystery box fad is just so bad for the environment. Because like there's so much garbage involved with those things. Like there's just so
Yeah.
much stuff like just immediately in the trash. Like the big plastic orb around it, and then there's like other plastic inside of it, and then it's so bad for everything. Anyway, we're here to talk about Lego Star Wars: Star Wars Skywalker.
So tell me about it.
Yeah, so this game came out a few times actually. It started in the early 2000s with first it did the prequels, so it would have been around '05, '06. I didn't write down the exact date or anything. Then they did the original trilogy following its success, and then they bundled the two together, and that's where I mean I played this at a friend's house for the first time when I was really young, and then I got it for myself on the Xbox 360 when I was probably too old to get the game at that point, and not get a weird look at GameStop. But it is I would say that for me, this is a large part of why I was a fan of Star Wars was these games.
Really?
Yeah, because
So you like them a lot then?
oh yeah, like and okay, at risk of sounding weird, to this day, the Lego games will pique my interest if I can get them on
Now you're gonna
clearance.
risk.
Yeah, at risk of sounding weird. Or
Yes.
yeah. To this day, if I can get a Lego game on discount, I will not fail to pick it up because they are at least
Oh,
pleasant.
really?
Yeah, they're very fun time killer games because it's such a
I played it.
simple. Have you played any of them?
I do like, yeah, I do like the Lego games. They are fun. They're very simple. They're easy to like. It's just enough going on that it's like, huh, that was fun, but not so much that you're gonna get frustrated from it ever, or that like, I don't know, it's an easy one to shut your brain off and play.
Yes, and it has such a rewarding gameplay loop because of how often you're collecting stuff that it's like it always gives you like
Mhm.
the oh you did this, oh you did this, good job, oh you did this, good job, where it's like it's a rewarding experience
Mhm.
for like it sounds like Pavlovian almost, but I think that's what they kind of go for when they try to make these
It
games
is. It definitely
where it's like,
is.
oh, you got a mini
It
kit. Oh,
definitely
you
is.
found a character token. Oh, you found this. Oh, you found this. And it's like, for me, for Star Wars, it was kind of the thing that was like, oh, I know a lot of these characters, or the vast majority of these characters. And it's like, oh, this is cool. And these games, I think that the success of these games is why we got all the later ones, the Hobbit and Harry Potter and what was the other big ones? They did Indiana Jones, they did Batman. Like
Mhm.
the Lego Batman games and the Lego Marvel games are so fun. Um, and they do really inventive
I
things.
do like the Lego Marvel games.
Yeah,
The
the
one
I didn't like Avengers, but I liked both the Marvel superheroes one and two with what's it
I
called?
liked the one that whatever the one it was that came out in let's see, would have been 2013 or 14.
The first one then, the one where you fight Galactus at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was cool. That one's
I
cool, and the
guess I've
one where you
not played
fight
any
Kang.
since then.
Because there's that one, and then there was Avengers, which follows the movies, and that one wasn't very fun.
Hmm.
And then there was two, which is it's kind of the same thing, but you're in Chronopolis. It's kind of like Patchwork Battle World, but led by Kang the Conqueror.
Hmm.
So that one was pretty cool too. There's a lot of their old Western characters from when they were timely comics in that one, which I appreciated.
Well, how I guess then like how does it compare? Do you like the Star Wars ones or the Marvel ones?
I think that I think it's apples and oranges because by the time you get to the Marvel ones, it's changed so much. because there's no
That's
open
true.
world
There
in
is
the first
definitely a
Star
lot
Wars.
more because yeah, there's definitely a lot more. I mean, I think I have played Lego Star Wars. I just can't tell you which one or what console, and I don't think it was for very long. Um, and I know comparing the first Marvel one and whatever Star Wars one that I played, um, there was a lot more in the Marvel one.
Yeah, because the Marvel
Like
one came a lot
more.
later than the Star Wars one, and I mean, even if you were to compare Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which is the one that came out last year, to the complete saga, which is the one we're talking about, that came out in like 2007, 2008, like those are games that are two incredibly different experiences. Because like when you
Mhm.
play the new one, it is a entirely open world experience. You go seamlessly from exploring the map into a level, and it's like
Mm,
it's really cool. Like, do you have PC Game Pass?
PC Game Pass. No.
Yeah, it's like Xbox Game Pass, but for PC. It's like $15. I would invest in it. But the new Lego Star Wars is included in it, the one that they did last
Um,
year. If
okay.
you wanted to try it out, but it's like don't just get Game Pass just for that. There's a lot of other fun games on there. But that is kind of where where this is, where it's like it is a very different experience to play that game compared to playing the original. Because it's very, you go into a level, you play through the level, you come out of the level, you go into the next level, and there's no exploration really. There is within the level, but there isn't outside. And some of the gameplay, it's not difficult, it's just frustrating. Like I'm thinking about the Kashyyyk level where it's like you have to play as Yoda and Chewbacca, and there's just fucking droids and clones everywhere, and they're just shooting at you. And there's really no penalty for dying, but they'll just keep shooting at you and shooting at you and shooting at you. And it's just kind of annoying because it's like you just get shot 4 times, and you just pop, and it's like fuck. And then you just spawn right next to it, and it's like, all right, let's just keep going. It's just annoying more than anything else. It's not even because it's like the penalty is you drop some of your studs, but like, all right, whatever, let's pick them back up. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a big
So,
deal.
is this one where the different characters for the majority are like they have different abilities?
Yes, there are the
Okay.
Jedi who have their Force abilities. Then there's the dark side Sith users have like the Force, but it's also dark side Force, which is kind of like in Marvel the power cosmic characters like Silver
Do
Surfer and
you
stuff
get
like that.
do you get to force choke somebody?
No,
Like a Lego head?
no.
That's okay.
You can kill people with a lightsaber though, which is kind of fun. Because that was part of it
Mm.
too. It's like this is the first game you can play with and dismember someone with a lightsaber. It's fucking awesome. Like you just hit them 4 times and they pop into a million pieces, and you're like, "This is what I wanted from a Star Wars game." And then no other fucking game did it until like the Force Unleashed, and it's
Oh.
like, all right. Um,
Um, did you have a favored class or character to play as?
oh, I always played the Jedi characters. I didn't like the shooting mechanics in that game at all because it's again it's one of
No.
those things you have to line up properly to get the guns to work, and it's like it's mandatory in a lot of times. I can give
Mm-hmm.
you a least favorite class pretty easy. It's the little character class, which is like Wicket and Anakin as a kid in episode one. Like that's the worst class in the
Oh,
game
why?
because it's they don't have a weapon and they just kind of walk around and their only ability is that they can crawl into air vents.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
why. That's a good reason for why.
Yeah, so it's just kind of boring. And it's like the space battles
Um,
are fun and
cool. Did you have a favorite Lego game, like, or how do they compare to each other? Because I'm assuming it's
I
not just
mean,
one Lego game for
oh,
Star Wars.
I've Lego for Star Wars they had one and two, which was one was the prequels, two was the original trilogy. Then this would have been the third one because it collected the two together into one game. There was a fourth
Hmm.
one that I never played that was the Clone Wars, which was
Okay.
just the Clone Wars movie. Um, there was a fifth one that was just The Force Awakens, which was the only way to find out what happened to C-3PO and his arm, why he had the red arm in that one scene, and then it goes
Oh,
away
okay.
by the end of the movie. Um, and you had to play the Phantom Limb DLC because that wasn't even included in the base game. You had to buy the base game plus DLC to get that. Um,
Oh.
so that was, that was there. I never played that one. And then the most recent one is the Complete Saga, which is the one that came out this year. Hands down, that one is the best of those games because it does so much in terms of just not just for Star Wars, but for the Lego game franchise. Like it does so much in like I want to see every game in this style now. Like I want the next,
Oh.
DC game to look like this because inevitably they're gonna be doing Crisis on Infinite Earths with Lego DC. So I want to see
Mhm.
that game in this style. I want to see the next Marvel superheroes game in this style. I want to see them redo Harry Potter in this style.
Oh, okay.
Like that's kind of where I am with it. Um, and I think that one's the best. But this one is an excellent entry point for anyone who has never played a Lego game before because it kind of gives you everything you need to know about what's going to be happening in the future,
Mhm.
except for the open world.
How does
But
it keep to the lore?
it's a comedic take on it. Like it doesn't take itself seriously. Because the entire thing is this is before they started using voice actors,
Hmm.
which I think starting with The
Okay.
Hobbit, they started using voice actors. Before that, it was all like shrugs and looking and facial and like, physical comedy to
Hmm.
express the story. Um, but by and large, it follows the plot.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, it
Nice.
is pretty faithful to the plot, and and it is a comedic take on it though,
Oh, okay.
where it's like, like there's a lot of rubber ducks, there's a lot of like, things like that, where it's like, all right,
Hmm.
I get it. Like, it's funny.
It's cutesy.
Exactly. It's meant to be like, if you want to get a kid in on Star Wars, this is a great way to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. How does
The
it
new one
compare
takes
to
itself
some
way too
other
seriously.
how does it compare to some other Star Wars games? Like maybe specifically the ones that we've already talked about.
Compared to we've only ever talked about so far, Battlefront and Battlefront 2. I would say that in the same way Battlefront and Battlefront 2 are kind of a good entry point for people coming in for the first time
Hmm.
to kind of like get them into the world and really sell them because I think that that's kind of one of Star Wars' big benefits is being able to play them gives you a different appreciation for it. Um, in that same way, this is going to give you that same kind of thing. I would say this is not. I feel like I'm comparing apples to oranges, but I would say this is probably a better game than Battlefront and Battlefront 2, only because it does a better job of telling the story and kind of bringing you up to speed. If you don't go into Battlefront or Battlefront 2 knowing anything about Star Wars, you're probably not going to have the best time. You
Okay.
can't really go into those games blind because you like it is kind of like, oh, this is cool. I'm playing as a rebel soldier and I'm trying to beat the Empire. Here it's you're experiencing the story kind of from a first person, perspective, and it's kind of cool in that regard. And there are a lot of
Hmm.
great jokes too, where it's like in the new one especially, like when you're going to through the sand dune the Dune Sea as Obi-Wan and Luke, you as you're going through it, like you find a sign, and when you interact with it, it says, "Here is the Tusken Raider camp, home of not just the men but the women and children too." And I'm like, that's funny. I appreciate that.
That is
Um,
funny.
yeah, it's things like that.
So
The
all in all, a
only thing
pretty
about the
good.
new one
Oop.
is that they take the sequels way more seriously than they take the original and the prequel trilogies. The sequel trilogies are played very
Oh.
straight, and it's kind of like they're like, we don't know how to joke about these yet. And that could be it. It could just be we don't know
Oh.
how to do these comedically yet because they're too new. Um, but
Hmm.
the originals and it's like we know the jokes, we know what jokes you can make, we know things people have been talking about for almost 50 years at this point, starting
Hmm.
from A New Hope. It's just it's like, so what are we going to lean into? Like, are we going to lean into people complaining about The Last Jedi? How are we going to handle this? And there's no real good way to do it because there's no good spirited entire fandom on the same page about certain ridiculous aspects of the sequels.
Okay. Hmm. Lots to
Um,
think about. All in all, is it a? Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And the thing is too, it's like I played it again recently. It's not even like I'm going based off nostalgia. I played it again recently, and it still holds up very well because I have it in my Steam library. I can just download it and play it. Um, it's very entertaining, and I think that that's just a testament not just to the franchise behind it. I mean, granted, if it weren't for Star Wars being the franchise they launched this with, I don't think that we would have Lego games now.
Hmm.
And I think there
Hmm.
is a reason why Skywalker Saga was the choice for the new format for the Lego games, and it's because you can get like people like Star Wars, and you can build on it, no pun intended, with this. So I think that that's kind of the where that why they picked that to begin with. Um, I just I think that it's more of a testament to what Lego has built because I like even with Lego games, I wasn't introduced with Lego Star Wars really. I was introduced with Lego Batman because my cousin had it and he was
Oh.
really into it. And it's like you play it and it's like there's like the Sonic suit from like Batman and Robin and like shit like that. And it's like this is really cool. Um and then there's a villain alternate storyline where you play through as the villains and it's like this is really cool. And it's an original story. And then it's like go back and do Star Wars and it's like, yeah, this isn't an original story, but I know this story very well and I love this story. And I think that them treating it with this irreverence is a
Yeah.
really well good way to do it.
That is a good way to put it, is that they didn't distort the story and they treat it with reverence. I like that.
Right.
So let's rank this puppy.
Again, I feel weird about ranking it against everything else because it is kind of just telling the entire story. Um, I can do what
So
I
we
with
go off of
video games.
playability and enjoyability
Yeah, let me look at the
and
video game list.
rewatchability or
Oh,
replayability.
definitely. I would say it's definitely between Battlefront 2 and Battlefront 1 then. Um,
It's above.
I would say it's between Battlefront 2 and Battlefront 1. So it's in between the two. So it'd be number two if we're going based off that. Because I think the only thing is these Lego
Okay.
games are really fun once you beat the story. Because then it's replaying and you're kind of
Hmm.
replaying on God mode at that point. Because you're like, I have all these characters I can flip between and do all kinds of things. Um, Before that, when you're playing through with the guardrails of these are the characters you need to play as, it's a lot less fun. It's kind of just you're getting through that to get to free
Oh.
play. Um, and then once you get to free
Oh,
play, it's like
okay.
this is the best, part of this game. If there's a way for them
Oh.
to do it in the future where it's like you can just free play the entire time, it's like here's all the characters, that would be better. But I would put this between the two because of that, and I would put if we're gonna also do the new one, I would put that beneath it. Um, so let me just write that in Star Wars complete, and then we'll put right below that Skywalker Saga, Lego Star Wars Skywalker. That one I just have. I'll fix it later. And I would put Skywalker Saga beneath it because a lot of the interfaces are not great. And I think that that comes
Hmm.
from we are experimenting with a new format, with new gameplay mechanics and all of that. So we got to come up with a way to do it. But like, I much prefer the old system where it's like, here's a sheet with like 900 little circles, and you want to pick a character, just go through there and pick the character you want to do, instead of being like, okay, so here's a menu, and it's like, here are the hero characters, here are the gunner characters, here are the bounty hunter characters, and it's like, just give me a list of all of them. I know what all of them are. Like, I don't need you to fucking sit here and explain it to me. I know, like, I can look at the character and know who it is. Granted, again, I'm not the target audience. It's meant as an onboarding for younger Star Wars players, but they do need to improve the interfaces either way. I think that's my biggest complaint about the new one, and I think they overcorrected a little bit in terms of level length. Because a few of the more recent Lego games were far too long, the levels. Especially like if you look at like Lego DC superheroes, the levels are just far too fucking long, and they overcorrected in the wrong direction. Where now the levels are way too short, and you can just
Oh.
plow through it in a few hours. You can plow through an entire campaign in a few hours, and I'm like, all right, like so I would say the new ranking for video game would definitely be number one Battlefront 2, number two Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, level number three Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, number four the original Battlefront from 2002. Now I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is that thing in your corner that looks kind of like Darth Vader?
A Darth Vader.
Oh,
He's
it
also
is?
holding a candy cane. Yes,
Oh, okay.
he's Christmas decor that stays out all year.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes
I just
sense.
tuck the candy cane when it's not Christmas. Yeah.
Okay, 'cause I saw that and I'm like, is it just something that looks kind of like it from over there? But
No, it
oh,
is. It's a Darth Vader.
oh, okay, that makes sense.
Um, yeah.
Let me bring up the calendar for the next few weeks. Um,
We actually it was used as a Christmas tree this year, actually,
that's an interesting
this past year.
idea. Why? Or
Because
don't
I
answer.
didn't do
Okay.
anything else.
Um, so we will let's see, what else have we got for the rest of the month? So this is March 8th.
What are
So we have Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga and Skywalker Saga. So next week, the 15th, will be Return of the Jedi. So get ready for that. I'm very looking forward. I think I say this every week, but I'm very looking forward to to your uh to your first viewing of the special edition of Return of the Jedi. Um, the
okay?
22nd, we have The Mandalorian, season one of The Mandalorian. By the way, have you watched the new episode yet?
I did.
Did you catch the reference to Thrawn and Ezra
No.
when Grogu is looking out in hyperspace and he sees the whales. Those are the things that pull Ezra and Thrawn into hyperspace.
Oh,
Yeah, Thrawn is coming. So get the fuck ready for that.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's
And then after that we have Heir to
funny.
the Empire on the 29th. In April, we will be starting The Force Unleashed on April 5th. Because you've played those games, right?
Nope.
You've never played The Force Unleashed with Star Killer?
I've played one Star Wars game.
Which
We've
one?
I've played two Star Wars games.
Which
The
two?
one that had the controller that was the shape of a Millennium Falcon
Okay,
that
the
was on
plug
the
and play
PC,
game.
and yeah,
The
and
one with the
then
spaceships.
it did come with a CD. It did come with a
Okay.
CD. Um, so it was a disc game, and then the other one was Bounty Hunter.
I just got that for PS2 recently. I found it at my local game
Oh, did
store.
you? It's
hmm
very good. It's very good. But
I've
we'll
been
probably talk about that one.
Yes, eventually we'll get to that one. And there are two franchises that I'm in the process of collecting video games for. It's Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Hmm.
I have yet to find Sorcerer's Stone on PS2. It is near impossible to find that.
Hmm.
There's a whole thing with that. And then so
I
that
should
will
look
be
because I think I might actually have a Harry Potter game on my for the
I
PS2.
I have Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban for PS2. But what happened
I don't know
was
what I have.
they the PS1 version of Sorcerer's Stone was made without any information from the movie.
Hmm.
And it was made to come out the same year as the movie. So it doesn't have score, it doesn't have production design, it doesn't have casting or anything from the movie, but
Mm.
it still very closely mirrors the visual and audio aesthetic of the movie somehow, which is just miraculous. Um, then what happened was 2 years later they built a new engine and did Chamber of Secrets on that for PS2, and then they went back and made Sorcerer's Stone in a limited run in that new engine that mirrors the movie.
Oh,
Um, But yeah, there's a whole conversation we had about that. Not right now, though. Then we have the Phantom Menace after that, Bad Batch Season 2 after that, and Dark Force Rising after that. Those are in April. So while we have you here, can we see what you want to be on for 30-minute reviews?
no,
If there's any.
no, we can't.
No, no, thank you.
I will be on for whatever I can be on. But as you've seen, my schedule is not
Because
ever stagnant.
next week, we have the Ranking the DC. Can you at least give me your
Okay,
rankings so that way, even if you can't be on, me and Peter can do it, and we can just use your rankings included
give
in the
give me
scores?
the list of things you want me to rank, and
A
then I will
hundred
do
percent, I
that.
did that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look,
Moving on.
I plead the fifth. Where is
Yes.
it? Hang on.
Um.
Look in your email.
Oh my
Literally a
gosh.
week ago. Let me forward it to you
No.
again. Let me just
What
forward you this
email?
email again.
Which
This
one?
the same email I always use when I send you the link.
Is
I
it
just I
my
just forwarded.
name?
Yes, I just forwarded you again.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I will do that then. I will try
Yes,
my best.
just
But I have a lot
rank
of
it.
other things to get done.
Just rank it favorite to least favorite, and anything you didn't see, make a list of what you didn't see, and we're gonna do averages to account for what you or Peter haven't seen yet.
Okay.
So we have
Yeah,
that, and
sure.
then
I can
yeah,
certainly try.
yes, that's an easy one. You just have to give me a list 1 to 13. If you can count, you can do this list. It's not
Yeah,
hard.
I can try to find the time.
Okay.
You got it. I'll try.
Okay,
Um,
because we
what
could do what we did
else?
last time when we did the Marvel one, where I'm like, "Can you give me the list in advance?" And then the next text is, "I'm ready to record," and I'm like, "All right, I guess." And then right before we record, I'm like, "Can you give me a list?" And it's like, "Okay, so these are my three least favorite." And I'm like, "You got to put it in a numeric order so that way I can give them points." I think this is like 7 points. I'm like, "Okay, but what
Always
number
do
is it?"
that. We could always do that. It was fun. Um,
Well, the only
next.
thing is we gotta work out Peter's schedule too, so we can't do that because he's very busy as well. And he's also very opinionated about. He is our resident DC Comics expert,
Oh,
or that's what we've been calling him since we started the show. Um, are you into
okay.
anime?
Not overly so, but I have
Okay,
some that I like.
Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind.
I have not seen.
Okay, never mind then. What about Detective Pikachu? Did you watch that ever
No.
with Ryan
But I have,
Reynolds?
if you like anime, right?
Somewhat.
Oh,
I'm trying to get more
I
into
thought you
it.
said you were. Oh,
I
okay.
used to be really
Um,
into it, but I'm trying to get more into it now.
I think you should watch The Host Club. It's available on Netflix,
Hmm.
and, and it's very good. It's an older one. They only ever did one season of it. They never made a second season. So, but it's very cute, and I like it a lot.
I've watched a little bit of what was that more recent one? My Hero Academia. I watched a little bit
Oh,
of. And
I've not.
I just watched Akira very recently, and that movie, it's from like 1988. It's just fucking phenomenal, that movie.
Uh,
Like there are a few anime movies that I've seen that are just like I would say toe to toe with any live action movie I've ever seen. Like
mhm.
Paprika is great. Grave of the Fireflies, if you want to cry, watch Grave of the Fireflies. That movie is just so beautifully depressing from like minute one on, and it starts with a firebombing of a city during World War II, and it just like from there it only gets worse.
Will you send me it?
I mean, I don't know where it is to stream, but yeah, if I can find where to stream
No,
it.
just text me the
Oh, the
name
name.
of it.
Yes, I will send you the name
Yeah,
of it.
just text me the name of it.
Okay. I thought this was one of those things where like, can you
Um,
find where I can watch it?
no, no,
And if I can you
no,
watch it
no.
for me?
I can do my own googling.
Um, okay.
Thank you. Um, so are we moving on now? Can I tell my freaking joke?
Yes, you can. And I can get angry
Okay.
about it again,
Um,
as usual.
yeah, yeah. What do you call an invisible droid? A see-through PO.
See, you've gotten smarter and not giving me an opportunity to think about it. Otherwise, I'll sit here and I'm like, what the fucking answer?
Yeah.
And then get mad when it's
If
not
it's
the
not
answer.
immediate, I'm moving it. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Um, so on that note, I think we have covered a lot of good ground here today. We found out that I'm a bit of a piece of shit, and thanks to Josie pointing it out,
I didn't I didn't say that.
rather than just letting me be the hero of my own story, she's like, "No, you're a fuck up. Move on." Um, and
It's
yeah,
boring. It's boring if you're the hero of it.
that's true. And the thing is too, it's like I've noticed that people really like when we talk about the bullshit where I end up looking like an asshole because you make me seem like an asshole. That's the dynamic people like. So it turns
Oh,
out
okay, good to
it
know.
it turns out
People like
7 years ago we were wrong when that dynamic was flipped and I was doing that to you. And it turns out we were wrong about that. They like seeing you cut me down to size and not the other way around.
Yeah, I would think so. You shouldn't beat up a girl.
Um, so we've learned the dynamic that works, which is great for my ego. So, you know,
Maybe this
as
will give
always.
you a lot of confidence.
Well, the thing is too, it's like I walk into it knowing, like when I tell these stories, I know you're gonna give me shit. Like that's the intent when I tell these stories. It's like, when I
Oh,
tell
here's a
these
good one.
stories,
She can make fun of me pretty good on this one.
when it's me and Peter, I know that Peter's gonna take my side, and he's gonna be like, "No, that other person's the asshole." And it's like I know when I come here, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
That's good to know.
So it's a very different dynamic that we're looking for. So it'll be interesting if we ever get all three of us on something again to see if we can get a story where it's
Yes.
like you and him are debating whether or not I'm a piece of shit.
No, because the moment that happens with Peter and I going on opposite sides, he's gonna say something that's too fast for me to understand, and I'm just gonna be like, all right, I give up. I'm
Sure.
done. Sure, you got it. It was fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck the guy who's doing his job at fucking ShopRite. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gotten to the point now
Yeah.
where it's like if I'm out shopping and something happens, I'll take a note of it on my phone. So it's like, here's a story to tell next time. Like I literally have on my phone right
Good.
now. Like I literally have
You're
Home Depot story, GameStop story as little check boxes on my phone of
you
things to
should
cover.
you should make a you should keep the list, and then you could have a small journal of my odd interactions.
Yeah, it just becomes a
I'd read
memoir.
that.
A
It
memoir.
sounds like a good coffee table book.
That's like what's it called? Like remember that joke we made about Peter, like freshman year of college, where he's like, "Okay, I have a long and awkward story," and it's like, "Yeah, that could be your autobiography."
I remember that. That's funny.
Um, yeah. So we'll be back with next week. We'll be back with Return of the Jedi. Um, if we record on Sunday, we could probably also do the DC back to back, and then he can be on too for that one. Because it's not that he
Okay.
hasn't been on because he doesn't want to. It's that someone between the two of us has a very complex schedule. Um, and it's not
You
me.
and Peter?
No, between me and you, one of us
Uh-huh.
has a very complex schedule where it's like I'll text them early in the day. Does 6:30 work tonight? And then I'll get a text at 5. Hey, I'm ready right now.
Or you'll get one that says, yeah, I should be good to do that later. Never mind.
And then like
Yeah.
10 minutes we're gonna record. You're like, I can't do it now. I'm like, all right.
It's because I went off to do the thing that needed to get taken care of, or like I left, I got busy, and then the time rolled around that was close to me us having to like meet up to do this,
Mhm.
and then going, oh shit, I never let him know that I can't come.
It's like
I'll let him know now.
it's like you texted me the other day when we were gonna record this originally. You texted me as I was getting in my car after work to go to record. And I literally I'm getting the text as I'm opening the door and stepping into my car. I get the text I can't record tonight, and I'm like, okay, good thing she texted. I got that text now before I start driving because for whatever reason, on
Yeah.
Android Auto, once you have an Android too. I know this happens in your car too, but does your
Yeah.
phone Bluetooth connect? If you get a text while you're driving, it'll open it and not tell you you have a text.
Um, so my car's a little old for the Bluetooth connect. So what I
Oh,
do is
okay.
I connect it to Bluetooth through a plug-in to the cigarette lighter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a what's it called? I have the my car has the Bluetooth built in, so I got this piece of shit used. And for whatever reason, whenever I get a text while I'm driving, it won't tell me I have a text. My phone won't buzz. It'll open the text, mark it as read, and then it'll just move on. And then I'll get wherever I'm going. I'll have like 7 texts that I didn't read, and it's like, oh, I don't remember this person texting me, and this is reasonably important. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's an odd
But
situation.
my dinner's ready,
Okay, yeah, and I have to go
so I
eat
have to
dinner as
go.
well, and
I can't play anymore.
I have to write a
Bye.
review.
My
I have to write a review about Triangle of Sadness. Okay,
oh,
so we'll be back
that's
next week.
sad. Bye.